Back in 2019, S&S came out with a prototype roller coaster called the Axis Coaster. It was completely unique because it spun around on an axis.
Yeah.
And you could go upside down, you could like flip around in all different directions.
The seats could be under the track, over the track, on the side. It's something that we've never seen before.
So it was very unique, and oddly enough, it was right after we did a video where I said this. But wait, they're over the track there.
My God,
so how do they go from over the track to under the track?
Cool.
So that was in May of 2019, opening day at Cedar Point. So obviously S&S had someone in line at Top Thrill Dragster and overheard me say that and said, hey, that's a great idea that we can be over the track and then under the track.
Yeah.
So S&S, send me the royalty money.
They stole the idea from us, so.
Yeah, so give me royalty money because we deserve that money. So I'm expecting big paychecks from all these Axis coasters they are about to sell. But fast forward to 2023 IAAPA convention, and they announced the first Axis coaster that was sold to an overseas, in Riyadh?
Yeah, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, they announced that the first Axis coaster was being built.
It's going to be an indoor one called Transformers.
It's going to be a very
Transformers.
It's going to be a very small coaster. It seems like the Axis coaster version of Dark Coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Like, it's all indoors. You go through the layout twice. Yeah, so it seems like that.
Then a little bit over a month later, S&S put out on their YouTube channel a full description of everything that you need to know about the Axis coaster. They go into some specs and they go into all different things, and that's what we're going to cover in this video.
And they show a whole animation of a example of really what they can do.
Now, before we get into all that, we'd like to say thank you to everyone that's watching this video. We appreciate everyone that tunes into our channel. Million YouTube channels out there, and you chose us, so thank you very much. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for coming back. We appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please consider going down, subscribing, liking the video, commenting. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can be like one of these wonderful people right here that joined our channel membership page. They're privy to things like exclusive videos, exclusive shout outs, pictures, things like that. And they help out the channel oh so much. So thank you to all our channel members. You guys are the backbone of this community. Now getting into this video, we just watched the video that S&S put out. So we're going to talk about the specs and things that they talked about. And some highlights that we figure are worth mentioning. So one thing that stood out to me is that they said that they can do a family version or a thrill version of this roller coaster. Now that isn't too crazy, but it did say that the minimum height requirement was 51 inches. And usually if you're going to do a family coaster, it would be something like 48-inch height requirement, or even lower down to like 42 or something like that. Or
even lower than that. But yeah, 51 is a very weird height requirement if you're going to have a family coaster.
Yeah, so if you're going to market our brand new family coaster, but hey, you know what? A bunch of younger kids can't ride it because they're not tall enough. Not sure how well that will go over. But either way, 51-inch height requirement. They're willing to do family, thrill. They're willing to do a launch coaster or one with a lift hill. So they have a lot of variety, custom layouts. They can do all sorts of stuff. They can do it outdoors or indoors, like you said earlier.
Yeah, like the coaster that they announced in Saudi Arabia is indoors. Transformers is the name of it, and it's a complete dark ride.
And that's the first Axis coaster that was sold. And that was overseas, but we have an idea of maybe a couple parks that might be the first ones in the United States that would be a perfect fit for the Axis coaster. And we're going to get into that later on in this video. Other things that stood out was that this is going to be a very low capacity ride. They're going to only run 2 trains on this, and there's only 12-person trains. So that means that a lot of your bigger parks, your Magic Mountains, your Cedar Points, your Canada's Wonderlands, places that get extremely busy, I can't really see them rushing to get this ride because it will just get huge lines no matter what. So we really think that this coaster is going to be more reserved for smaller parks. And I think that would be perfect because it looks like a very fun ride. The animation looks like it could be you could get 3 rides in one. You can go from basically a floorless coaster if you're over top of it. Then you can go swing off to the side and it'll be like you're on a wing coaster. And then you can go underneath the track.
Yeah, it'd be like an invert. So yeah, it's a very, very cool coaster. And it is interesting that there are indoor versions of this because it seems like kind of a visually appealing ride. So
yeah,
a little
very.
interesting that it is like a dark coaster, or it could be like a dark coaster, a dark ride, and so you can't really see what's happening.
Yeah, it's the type of ride that a lot of people would probably gather around and say, "Oh wow, look at that!" It would like just the fact of it being so unique
Yeah.
would be something that would draw people over to the ride in order to ride it. But if it's enclosed in a building, no one would really be able to see it. So yeah, that's a very good point. Like, so I would think that most of these that are built will probably be built outdoors instead of a dark ride indoors. So we brought up capacity and how it seems like it'll be a low capacity ride. One thing that will help with it is it does seem like there's very short layouts. I mean, I guess since they're customizable, a park could get longer layout if they wanted to.
But it seems like they are gonna be, yeah, shorter experiences.
So something like that could help move things along a little bit better. But expect for this ride to be something that's not any like 2 minute long
Still
rides.
long enough to have like a mid-course brake run, because in the animation they have a mid-course on there and you enter it going upside down, which is very interesting. So it'll be like part of it is an upside down mid-course brake run, which would be very interesting.
Another thing that stood out from this video was they pointed out that the chassis for the trains are weld free. Now that seems to be something that a lot of manufacturers are going to. Zamperla made a big deal about the Top Thrill 2 trains being weld free, saying that they're less maintenance for the parks and stuff like that. And then I think it was Falcon's Flight, Intamin Falcon's Flight, that's going over to Six Flags Qiddiya over in Saudi Arabia. That was pointed out that that was a weld-free chassis.
Yeah.
And now S&S is pointing out that they have a weld-free chassis. So that seems to be the way that a lot of trains are going to be going in the future. Now for a couple parks that we could really see getting this. One park stood out above the rest, and I think it would be absolutely perfect. This park just recently lost a roller coaster. It's a smaller park, so it would be something that it would fit like the demographic of what we think that a park would look like that would get a cup ride like this. It would fit a type of ride that this park does not have. And they have not gotten a new roller coaster in like probably 6 or 7 years or something like that. It's been a little while. We're talking about Kentucky Kingdom. Kentucky Kingdom was not too long ago bought by Herschend, who owns Dollywood and Silver Dollar City. And they've invested in those two parks heavily, but they've yet to show any interest in investing into in Kentucky Kingdom, which is a little odd. But Kentucky Kingdom just got rid of T3, their infamous SLC coaster.
Yeah, so they got some room to build something, and a smaller Axis coaster could work really well there.
I'm seeing something like a launch version of this because they don't have any launch coasters at Kentucky Kingdom. And it's just like a completely unique experience. They have Lightning Run, which is a great
Chance Hyper GTX.
Yeah. And then they have
Storm Chaser
really and RMC.
Kentucky Fire, a small family coaster. But yeah, they have no spinning coaster. They have no launch coaster. So if you would call an Axis coaster a spinning coaster, but they have obviously nothing like that. So.
And Kentucky Kingdom doesn't get extremely busy, so I think that that would be a perfect fit. Tear down T3, put that in its place, and it'll be a perfect replacement. So Kentucky Kingdom, I could really see them being the first park in the United States to get it. Maybe a couple other parks, like some smaller Cedar Fair / Six Flags parks, like maybe like a Valley Fair. They haven't gotten anything in a while. If you want to get into maybe like a bigger medium-sized park, maybe like a Fiesta Texas or something. Yes. I think it would fit well in a park like that.
Yeah, I could definitely see something like Fiesta Texas. I mean, really, yeah, any sort of medium to smaller parks. Like I said before, some bigger parks are gonna have to get it. So like Six Flags Fiesta Texas, I think could be a good fit for it. They're like Six Flags is really investing pretty heavily on that park. So I could definitely see something like that going there.
And then you were saying, if you want to start talking about overseas, you were saying that Europa Park would probably be
something
really
like Europa Park. I could see getting something like that. Like they don't really have, I don't know. They just seem like they're just getting Voltron this year, or whenever that's going to be built or finished. So it'll be a few years, but they don't really have anything like that, and they like those weirder kind of coasters. So, and they don't have any like inverted coasters except for Arthur, which is a kiddie coaster pretty much. So I think a place like Europa Park, I could see a lot of European parks getting it.
And of course, if you have any ideas of any parks that you think it would be perfect for or might go to, we'd love to hear them down in the comments section. So go ahead and drop those comments down there.
But yeah, very excited to ride one of these because they just look really, really cool.
Now there is the issue with S&S and the reliability.
That is a huge thing. These things are going to be insanely unreliable. Like,
hopefully not. Fingers crossed that they won't be.
Obviously, I'm hoping not. Max Force, Steel Curtain, any S&S coaster, Dododampa, all these coasters are very, very unreliable.
S&S might have a worse track record than even like Intamin as far as reliability.
They are getting there. They are definitely getting there.
Yeah, so that's something that a park will definitely have to consider and think about before investing in a ride like this. We don't know any sort of cost. They haven't given any idea about what something like this would cost a park, but them being smaller, probably a lower medium price tag, like in the $10 million range. I could see
that
something
10,
like that.
maybe 15.
Yeah, 15 would probably be pushing it,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys right here next time on Beach Cliff Studios. See ya.